Hey everyone, Hamza here from Name Your Career. Today I want to talk to you about 10 things to prepare before video interviews. The one thing that I would like to achieve for you during this video is that if you apply these 10 tips, you are going to sound, look, appear much more different than your competition. You know, if you do these 10 things, if an employer, recruiter interviews, let's say 3, 4, 5 people that day, and you come out more sophisticated, more, you know, it's cleaner, it's more professional, you will be making a powerful first impression as well. And that is very, very important. So without further ado, let's begin with point number 1. So point number 1, the background. As you notice, I have a white background. I'm not asking for you to have a white background, of course, but the one thing that you should have is a background that's tidy, that's organized, and that's not distracting. So for example, if I had to have, like, let's say a poster, and there's a weird poster or a poster that reminds you a really great film, well, that's distracting, okay? So that's not good. You want all the attention on you, okay? That's really, really the most important. Also, if you have a background that's not tidy, that's messy, that doesn't really give you, give a good impression of you. A last thing as well is moving background. So the background has to stay, static. If you have someone passing by or a TV screen or whatever, that's going to be distracting too. Last tip about the background is try and dress something, try and dress with a color that contrasts with the background. So if your background is blue, don't wear light blue. It would look like a chameleon. So not great. Tip number 2, eye level. Okay, so that's really, really important. You know that you've got to have eye contact when you speak to people, when you have face-to-face interviews. Well, that's kind of the same for video interviews. You've got to have eye contacts. And I see a few mistakes that people do during these video interviews is that they look at their picture, they look at their video, you see. Right now I'm looking at my video and therefore I'm disconnected with you here. They look at the person's video, sometimes in the upper right corner, and they give this impression that they are distracted, you see. So try and fix your eyes on the webcam, okay? I know it's really hard to sort of talk to a webcam, but that's actually the eyes of the person nowadays if in a video interview. So try and speak to your webcam. Try not to be distracted with these videos, etc., because they do appear in your peripheral vision and they could be enticing and you could be tempted to look at them. So try and avoid that. Sometimes I do see people that are like this, okay? So they try and center their head into, vertically center their head. And it's ugly because, it just looks like there's a big gap that's useless. But in reality, we want, the way we look at people is really at this level. In reality, you want to, take advantage of the entire space here, okay? So not leave a little bit of space here, but essentially just remember this. If you divide your screen horizontally in 3, try and have your eyes on the upper third. That's called the rule of third, okay? Audio is so important. You can have the worst picture in the world. You can have issues with connection or whatever, but the audio is very, very important. So an easy thing is to use one of these headsets that come with our phones and use it in one ear, so you don't have this sort of cable all around your neck and your face, but just use it in one ear, because the microphone on these headsets, on these earphones are usually really, really good. So that's a good technique, because if you rely on your laptop's built-in microphone, unless you have a very, very expensive laptop, it might not be a good microphone. You might hear computer noise. There's fans, there's all sorts of things that happen inside a computer. And if it's a built-in microphone, you're gonna capture all this as well. So try and use an external microphone, because that's so important. You can't allow the other person to be distracted by what? Sorry, can you repeat that? The noise, or it's not very clear, or whatever. That's the deal killer. Audio is king. So use these microphones. You can also buy very cheap cable microphone on Amazon. That's super easy. Okay. You want to use a really quiet place, an environment that you control. So another aspect as well is that I've seen, I think 2 or 3 times in my career as a recruiter, I've seen people taking video interviews in their car. Look, yes, I know it is quiet and everything, but that's so weird. It gives a bit of an impression that you're homeless living in a car or something, because somehow we connect. Still, video interviews, we expect people to be in a setting where they are at home, in a quiet setting, not in their car. I know a lot of people say don't use your smartphone, your tablet. I tend to disagree with that. I think these pieces of technology are really good now, and the camera inside is really good as well. So I would use them. Again, if you use a smartphone, for example, make sure there's a connection. Don't expect the built-in microphone to be good. Okay, so make sure you use a external microphone, but more importantly, try and make sure that you record like this. That is, don't put your smartphone like this. Okay, because you see, our eye line is horizontal, and when you do this, is not natural. So you want to always put your device recording horizontally. Okay, that's very important. Okay. Last point, make sure it's stable. The worst thing you can do is to hold it, because in fact, even if you're trying to stay still, you're gonna be basically shaking. It's a little bit like if I was to you see, even if I try and hold still, I'm a little bit shaking. I don't know if you saw that, but I didn't feel it was very stable. So try and avoid that. Plus you would look a little bit silly trying, looking like you're holding something. The one thing about the lighting is that I have a window just here, and this is natural light. That's the best light ever. Okay, so if you try and have that, this is the best. Okay, the one thing to avoid is those neon light or overhead lights, because you see, I don't have much hair at the moment, and what's happening is that my scalp would be shining, and that's not good at all. I would be all shiny and all weird. Plus, a video, whether it's a video, live video or not, is usually a certain amount of frame per second. So it's not continuous, it's frame per second. So I took once a video under a neon light, and it was perfect in sort of, on the set. But when I looked at the video, there was some lines going up and down and up and down. That's because a video is capturing on frames per second. So try and avoid these overhead lights as much as you can. Natural light is really awesome. Okay. Camera suck energy. So in real life, if you meet me one day, I don't speak like this, I'm not gonna be like this. But in videos, I do 10-15% more energy. I smile a little bit more, 10-15% more, because videos suck in your energy. So try and be aware of this. So sometimes people, when they first take a shot on a video, they don't like what they see, because video sucks your energy. So you don't like, why am I like this? I thought I was more exuberant or more positive or more energetic. And in fact, you're not. So try and increase that energy level a little tiny bit more, okay? You want to make sure that all these settings are working. And the best way to do that is not to wait the video interview, the job interview, whatever you have on video. it's to actually make sure you record yourself. In fact, the best way to do it is to take someone in a different country and to establish a connection, live connection, and then ask this person to record their screen. So you've got external softwares, tons of them. I use Screencast-O-Matic, I think is awesome. There's 15 minutes for free and you can use it any number of times. So, you know, Screencast-O-Matic.com, it's free. Okay. So that's the easiest one. And then, you know, you ask the person to send it to you via Google Drive or anything. That's the best way to see how everything is working. So you want to see the sound, the background, you want to see the natural light, you want to see the whole thing, basically, everything we discussed, okay? Record and then look at the energy level, the whole thing, okay? Post-it notes. One of the great advantages of having video interviews is that you can use kind of cheat sheets. If there's a few things that you want to make sure you say, or you want to make sure you remember, or a few figures or whatever, then you can put them all around, because it's going to be on my peripheral vision and it's not going to be too distracting for me to have a quick glance, because it's right next to the camera. So it's not like if you have a massive screen, make sure it's right next to the camera, so you reduce the degree to which you need to look at. Okay, so you still appear like you're having eye contact. That's really, really important. And point number 10 is all the distraction that people do. So I'm, for example, guilty to always play with my pen, always. And sometimes when there's a live video, that's so distracting, because the pen, if I keep on playing, you see it falls. And that makes a noise, and that's not nice. Same thing with playing with, you know, your fingers or whatever. I know video interviews can be stressful, but try and, you know, channel your stress in a different way. One of the methods that you can use is to make sure you have your 2 feet on the ground and make sure you breathe with your belly. So the diaphragm will have more space to expand and you will breathe better, and this will soothe you. So 2 feet on the ground, and put your hand on your stomach and make sure you breathe with your stomach and not with your lungs, not with your chest, okay? It's the same thing if you have these swivel chairs. You see, people sometimes don't realize it, but they play a little bit like this, and that's so annoying. So don't do it. Please don't do it. So you see, we didn't even start talking about your skills and how you can answer interviews, etc., etc. You can have a look at my YouTube channel, Name Your Career. There's tons of tips. There's actually a playlist about job interviews. And if you want the ultimate preparation, the Job Seeker and the Coach is available on Amazon. You can actually read the first 3 chapters 100% free. Just go to the Job Seeker and the Coach, and thecoach.com, and you can read the first 3 chapters for free. It's a story, so you know, you're gonna go through the entire story of a job seeker, not just doing your CV or not just doing interviews or salary negotiation, the whole thing. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, just please share it. I depend a lot on people liking, commenting and sharing. So don't hesitate, and hopefully I will speak to you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.